Imagine the world of 2,000 years ago, where marble temples gleamed under the Mediterranean sun, and soldiers marched beneath the arches of empire. At first glance, Greece and Rome might seem like rivals, two civilizations standing on opposite shores of history. But beneath the surface lies a deeper truth. Rome conquered Greece with armies, yet Greece conquered Rome with ideas. From the bustling agora of Athens to the Senate of Rome, the dialogue between these two worlds created a legacy that still shapes our lives today. To understand how Rome could not escape Greece, we must return to the foundations of Western civilization. The story begins in classical Greece, where city-states like Athens and Sparta thrived. Athens, in particular, gave the world democracy, philosophy, and drama. In the Agora, Socrates asked questions that unsettled his fellow citizens. Plato built a school that sought eternal truths, and Aristotle examined the natural world with relentless curiosity. These ideas were not confined to Greece alone. They were seeds scattered across the ancient Mediterranean. As Rome rose from a small republic on the Italian peninsula, it came into contact with Greek colonies in southern Italy. Magna Graecia, Greater Greece, was already flourishing with theaters, temples, and libraries, long before Rome claimed dominance. Here, Romans encountered Greek art, architecture, and philosophy firsthand. They absorbed it eagerly, even as they sought to impose their own power. By the 2nd century BCE, Roman legions marched directly into Greece itself. The conquest was swift, and yet the victors found themselves captivated by the culture of the vanquished. Roman generals carried home not only treasures, but also philosophers, artists, and teachers. Greek slaves often became tutors in Roman households, instructing the children of the elite in language, literature, and rhetoric. In this way, Greek thought seeped into the very heart of Roman society. Roman religion, too, could not escape Greek influence. The gods of Mount Olympus were reborn under Latin names. Zeus became Jupiter, Hera became Juno, and Aphrodite became Venus. The myths remained, reshaped into a Roman mold, but unmistakably Greek at their core. To worship in Rome was, in many ways, to worship as the Greeks had done centuries earlier. Architecture tells the story even more vividly. The Parthenon of Athens stood as a model for Roman temples, its columns inspiring countless imitations. Roman engineers may have perfected the arch and the dome, but the language of beauty was Greek. Walk through the Roman Forum and you hear echoes of Athens. Yet this cultural inheritance was not without tension. Some Romans feared that Greek influence would corrupt their simpler, more martial traditions. The statesman Cato the Elder famously warned against the seductive power of Greek philosophy. But even Cato's protests could not stop the flood. Cicero, Rome's great orator, openly admired Greek thinkers and modeled his speeches on them. The Stoics, with their call to virtue and reason, became the moral backbone of the Roman elite. And what of literature? Homer's epic tales of heroes and gods became the template for Virgil's Aeneid, Rome's national epic. While Virgil sought to give Rome its own mythic origin, he could not escape the shadow of Greece. Every line carried the resonance of Homer's verses. Over time, the relationship between Greece and Rome became less about conquest and more about synthesis. Rome provided the political and military framework, Greece the intellectual and artistic soul. Together, they forged a civilization that endured for centuries and whose influence still surrounds us, from the marble facades of government buildings to the philosophical ideas that shape our democracies. But there is also a paradox here. Rome prided itself on being practical, disciplined, and powerful, yet it constantly returned to Greece for meaning, beauty, and wisdom. This tension between Roman might and Greek mind defined an era. Without Greece, Rome would have been just another empire. Without Rome, Greece might have remained fragmented city-states, brilliant but limited in reach. The fusion of the two created something greater. When Christianity emerged, it spread through the highways Rome had built, but it was articulated in the Greek language of philosophy. Even faith itself carried the imprint of this cultural marriage. So why then could Rome never escape Greece? Because power alone cannot endure without ideas. Rome's armies conquered lands, but Greece conquered Rome's imagination. The Roman Empire might have claimed the Mediterranean, but the Greek spirit claimed Rome. And so, as we walk today through the ruins of Athens and Rome, we are reminded that history is not just about battles won and lost. It is about the invisible victories of thought over force, of culture over conquest. Rome's monuments may crumble, but the Greek ideas they enshrine live on. This is the story of two civilizations locked together across time, one with the sword, the other with the word. And together, they gave birth to the world we know.